Welcome to Iris Cottage Creations. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about cutting out paper dolls and other paper projects that can be a little bit tricky. If you are buying these as digital downloads, of course you can print out another one and cover up your mistake that way. What I have learned about cutting out paper dolls is that you need to work with multiple kinds of cutting tools, and you need to approach it with a strategy. So today we're going to be looking at the Pieces paper doll, and the first tool that I would use is a big pair of scissors. And I tend to chop things into pieces, and then I can assess how this ought to go. So to start off with, I don't want to cut into the fingers, but if I will chop this off, and when I can follow a line, I'll follow a line, and then I don't have that whole piece of paper to worry about and getting in my way. So I'll come back down the other side. And if you'll notice, I'm trying to guide the paper more than I am guiding the scissors. And that's one of the keys to a successful project. Okay, so now I can set these aside and pick up my second cutting tool. I like these because you hold them with your whole hand and your fingers don't get as tired as they do if you're operating a regular pair of scissors. Plus, they have a little bit of spring action to them, and they have very sharp points. So they're going to be very good for getting around tight curves, and again, guiding the paper more than guiding the scissors. And these guys are really nice. They're a good tool to have, but they do have one weak spot, and that weak spot is this little catch right here. If you use them a lot, that little catch is going to wear out. But hey, you still have them for doing the rest of the work you need with them. Okay, so now we're getting down to a spot that's a little bit trickier, but you can see that by not having that whole rest of the page to wrestle with, I can guide this a lot more cleanly. I can work at it and cut off pieces and leave them on the table and get down to where I feel like I can't do any more with this size scissors. Okay, so again, guiding the work around the curve more than moving the scissors. And then we'll set those aside. And it's time for our third cutting tool. I like this style because it has a nice grip on it and it has a plastic cap to keep it protected when you're not using it. And this is just a very nice razor knife. It can be sharpened. You can also get replacement blades for them. But they're very nice for getting into these little bitty spaces, like between the fingers here. And you will need to have some kind of a protective cutting mat to go underneath this project. And similar to what I said earlier, you want to be able to take a chunk out when possible, but you want to be careful that you don't start pulling on this a whole lot because it is paper and it can tear. So on this one, I'll cut the triangle and then I'll come back and cut the tip. Okay, so what that does is, again, I'm working with a manageable amount at a time, and I'm not putting undue stress on the paper or really on my hand. If you do this a lot and you're trying to get something done, it's very easy to get grasped on real tightly, and then it's hard to work on it and your hand gets really tired. So work the small pieces at a time. Always go at it with a strategy. And if perhaps you cut something you didn't really mean to cut and you don't want to go back and print it out again, just take your black marker and go over that little bit that didn't get cut quite the way you wanted it to and hide those little errors. No one's going to know but you. So the 3 different kinds of cutting devices can come in extremely handy, and use the right tool for the job, and it will help you get things done in a much more enjoyable manner. That's a lesson my daddy taught me, was use the right tools and respect the tools that you're using, and you'll have much more success. Thanks for watching.